Hi, in this session, I'm going to talk about the firewall policy configuration in the FortiGate. Along with that, I will also explain you FortiGate firewall configuration step by step. So if you have a look on the lab, I have a FortiGate firewall in between. On the left hand side, we have three computers, and on the right hand side, I have a server. My ultimate goal will be to make a communication from any of the computer to that server here. In between, we have the FortiGate firewall, which has no configuration at all. It's like you can say that's a factory setting. So we will configure everything step by step on this firewall from the scratch. So this is going to be a very good learning for the beginners, and this is basically video helpful for the beginners only. If you are already have an advanced knowledge, this video may not be helpful. And for the simpler or providing the more connectivity, I have taken as LT switch here, and that facilitates the communication to connect multiple computers. So let's begin. I'm starting this FortiGate firewall here. So if you are not familiar with this lab or what you are seeing here, that's basically an EVNG platform where I have set the lab, and you are seeing the topology like this, that I have connected a FortiGate, I have a switch, I have computers, I have a server here. Also, it is going to the internet. So though I'm not going to cover that up here, how to make the connectivity from the internet, but yeah, you can do that as well, and you can access the internet resources from any of the computers here, and that communication will be going through the firewall. You can take decision what to allow, what to not allow. You can create a firewall rule to allow a specific website, allow a specific destination IP to make the communication happen or block it. So for that, I have already recorded videos that how to set up an EVNG lab and what are the images required for it. So you can watch the video that's already available on my channel. In case you're not, I will help you to give that link in the description in order to go it directly. In short, I have started this firewall now, so I will just click it here and you will see that what's happening. So you will see that I have something like, okay, let me click it again. Okay, so now you can see that it is giving me a prompt for the login. Okay, so there's no configuration on this FortiGate firewall, and it will take a default credential. So default credentials for the FortiGate firewalls are admin and the no password. No password means that you do not have to enter anything. You just hit enter. That's it. Okay. So I'm typing here the login username as an admin. It is asking me for the password. So I will not type anything. Just hit enter here. Okay. As I do it, it says that you are forced to change your password. So I will change the password, asking me to confirm it. I will confirm it, and now my FortiGate firewall is up. So I can see a lot of things here now. My FortiGate firewall is up, and now I'm ready to access the firewall. By default, it has some IP addresses, and usually we can access there, but in order to access that here from this directly from the browser, I have to change the IP address of the FortiGate firewall and specifically of the management interface. Okay, so I will change that IP address. Okay, so I have to type certain commands. Let me just quickly. Yeah. So I can give that command as a config system interface. Okay. So I'm basically like configuring the interface IP address. Okay. So hit enter. So I'm entering to the configuration mode of the interface. Okay. And the port one of this firewall is known as the management interface. Okay. So that's why I'm just trying to edit port one. Okay. So edit port means that I'm trying to edit the configuration of the port one. By default, this port is having the DHCP enabled. So I'm going to disable it, or basically I will put it on the static mode. Okay. So that's what I will give that command config set device, sorry, set mode static. Okay. So that's gives you the static IP address, or basically like I can assign an IP address in a static way rather than the getting an IP address from the DHCP. And now I'm free to assign an IP address here. So I'm going to give an IP address, set IP 192.168.30.161. Okay. So I'm just giving that IP address and the range of that subnet of my VM adapter of that EVNG. So you have to take care of that one. Why I'm doing this one? That you have to watch that video of the EVNG setup. If you don't do that one, you will assign an IP address, but still you will not be able to access the GUI of that FortiGate firewall via outside of your browser. Okay. So I will give a subnet mask like this, and you can also give a default gateway and all, but that's not required as of now. So I will hit enter and okay. And here no need to like commit or something. Okay. So my FortiGate, yeah, and one more thing, I have to allow access most probably. So I will go once again. I have forgot to give GUI access, else I will not be able to access the GUI of this FortiGate firewall. Okay, so I will go once again, go system interface, edit port one, and set allow access. So I want to allow HTTP, HTTPS, DNS, and SSH ping. These four services I will be able to access. Though by default, HTTP, SSH, and ping are already there. Okay, but I will just need an HTTP as well. So that's why I have done it. Okay, so I have to remove the DNS. That cannot be done. Yeah. And now I have to do the end command. And now I'm able to access the GUI of this firewall using this IP address. Okay. So let me open a new web page. 192.168.161. And important part is that I have to mention the HTTP. Okay. Oh, sorry. I have to connect it. I forgot to connect this one. So I will, and one more thing, that when you connect these devices has to be powered off. Then only they can be connected. Okay. So I will connect you to the port one which we just configured. Okay. And now make it on. You can also check the connection via command prompt, that I will try to ping the IP address, whichever I just like configure it here, right? So if I ping it here, 192.168.30.16. Okay. It's timed out. Okay. Let me check if my firewall has come up now. So system interface port 1, what we just configured. So the IP address is here, and now I should be able to ping. Yeah, last one was able to, and now all of the ping are successful. Now I can try the GUI of it using an HTTP. Oh, here we go. Now you see that automatically just like landed up on the login page. I will increase the size so that you can view it properly. And now I will log in this using the same credentials what we configured or we just changed it. Okay. Once I log it in, it asks me to change some of the things. So like specify the host name. So you can specify or dashboard should have like we have to do these two things. And these whichever tick are there, they have already been done. Okay. So I will do that those later. And whenever doing it first time, it will also give you something like this. So you can click it here like don't show it again and click OK. And that's how basically your FortiGate Firewall GUI looks like. Okay, so you have a lot of options here on the left hand side. And that's how you can see that what is the host name, what is serial number, on which mode it is configured, and the firmware, whatever it is, what are the license features are available right now. Okay, what are the CPU utilization, what is the memory utilization, what are the sessions count running on your firewall as of now. So that's like best FortiGate firewall feature you can see, one of the best one. Okay, and now if I try to make the communication right, because our ultimate goal is to make the communication from here to here. So by default, the communication is not allowed through the FortiGate firewall. So you can view it on the policy section here. Okay, so if you go on the policy and objects here and look onto the firewall policy, you can see that there's a default policy and that name is implicit deny. So it says that all source, all destination and action is denied. So it says that any communication going through the firewall will be blocked by default. Okay, so in case like you think that you want to ping it from here, from this machine to this server here, that's not going to work because it has a default deny policy and it will drop the communication and you can't ping it. Right. So let's see it first that what's the status, is it able to ping it or not, right? So before that, we have to configure the interfaces of the port 2 and port 4, right? These IP addresses because we need a communication as well. That's like simple networking. If you have a router, you have to configure that interfaces first. So I configure the port 2 as 1011. So how can you do that on the FortiGate firewall? You have to go to the network section here. You see there's a network section. Click on networks and there's an option of the interfaces. Click on the interfaces. So already port 1 is configured, what I configured via CLI. So you see that, and I allowed 4 services, ping, HTTPS, SSH, and HTTP. Those also you can see it via GUI. So this is like benefit of the FortiGate firewall, that most of the features or the things are done via GUI, not via CLI. So if you have Cisco router, 95% of things are, in fact, like 100% are done via CLI. You do not have GUI for it. You can't configure, right? They have like provided recently that some of the options via GUI, but negligible. Most of things are doing via CLI. Here in the FortiGate, 95% things are, or in fact, could be more, are done via GUI. Only intense troubleshooting or advanced troubleshooting are done via the CLI. Meaning most of the jobs are done via GUI. So if I want to configure the port 2, I can click it here and click here option as an edit. Alias, you can give like internal It's not mandatory, but you can give for the significance. Tomorrow, once you log in back or someone else logging it in, they can easily identify that what interface it is and what it represents. And obviously, I will give it as a LAN because that's an internal. So what type of IP address, or basically how basically you're going to configure an IP address? You want to be assigned via DHCP or you want a static IP address? So right now I'm quite interested in static IP. So I will enter it here. And as per the topology, it should be 10.1.1, right? And subnet mask, you can give like /24. That works. It accepts that one, okay? Even on CLI, where I gave as a 255.255.255.0, even there, if I give the subnet as /24, that also works. Okay, so FortiGate Firewall is smart enough. It understands that /24. It's not mandatory that you give like 255.255.255.0. It no smart enough. So, anyways, so let's go ahead and everything is fine. We will not change any other configuration. Let everything be default or let ping allow. Okay, and that's okay. So we can click OK and our port 1 is configured. All right. Next thing we have to do on the port 4, right? Oh yeah. So like I'm just for information, I'm going to start the live classes of the FortiGate firewall. That's like huge content around 30 hours. Okay. And those going to be live classes. You can uh, contact me on WhatsApp on this one. Okay. And these are going to be started on the 23rd of March, and timing will be 9:30 to 11 IST. So there's a link for that one. I can show you. And I'll also give you the link on the description so that you can view it properly. Okay. So this is the link here. Okay. So this is my website, sapiumsecurity.com. Also, like I have one more website, freshdeveloper.online. So that's going quite good. But I have also taken for the sapiumsecurity.com just for the convenience of the new platform. Okay. So that you can take it, and this is starting on 23rd of March. Okay, these are going to be weekend classes, Saturday and Sunday, 9:30 to 11 a.m. IST. Okay, and what are the topics I'm going to cover that I have mentioned? I'm not going to read them, all of them. You can view it. I will give you the link, this link at the description. You can view it. Okay, and obviously this is not going to be free because these are going to be live classes, and these will like 30 hours content, so it will last around I think 10 weeks, okay, something like that. And if you are going to pay it in INR, that's rupees, it is going to be like 5997. But in case you are outside India, or you are paying in some different currency, so you have to pay in the dollar and pound. Two options are there. So in case of dollars, it is going to be $100. Okay, so no need to worry. You don't have to change anything. Once you log it in your with your contact number, it will automatically switch to your corresponding currency. Okay, so you can make it payment, and you can enroll for this session. So this is like quite, you know, comprehensive, much depth, and I consider that you don't know anything as a beginner. You can see that I'm very starting from like about Fortinet, or basically like what are the firewalls, why security is important at all, basic things I will cover it up, and then slowly I will make you move on to the FortiGate firewall, and also I will give you the exposure to some other firewalls like Palo Alto, Checkpoint, or Cisco Firepower. Okay, so we also just to get the exposure. Obviously, I'm not going to cover all those things because they are like entirely separate no topics. So, but still, I will give you a little bit exposure of that one. And I think this is going to be like sixth or seventh batch. I'm going to start it now. Okay, so enroll for this and enjoy. Meanwhile, yeah, let's continue our session. And for the contact, like if you have any query, you can contact on this number 844 811 6335, or you can visit my website. Okay, so I was about to configure my port 4 here. So I will continue configuring port 4 and IP address was 10.11, sorry, 172.16.1.1. Okay. So I will give as a DMZ. Anything you can give the name here. That's not like mandatory. Okay. And here I will give as a 172.16.1.1. Right. That's what the IP is. Yeah. Here it is. I will put it nearby and submit mask. So I will give as a /24. It's allow ping here as well. And no need to change anything as of now. All right. So now you can see that port 2 and port 4 are configured. You can see that IP address is here visible. So that's how basically you can configure any of the firewall interface. Okay. And now going to our ultimate conclusion here, right? So you can ping from this computer to the server or not, right? So let me start this computer. So this is basically a Windows 7 machine. And from there, I will try to ping this server. So let me start this. Now start Windows normally. And in case you are watching this video after that our live classes has ended, so you can also take our recorded session or basically like it's not matching your time zone because it could be that whatever the time I have mentioned on the like whatever time I'm taking the classes that is not matching to your time zone, you can also take it for the recorded sessions. Okay. So you can watch the recordings. Even like I have whatever the previous classes I have, those access I can provide you so that you can watch at your convenient time, not only this live classes. Okay. So I hope my computer has started now. Yeah, my computer has started. Okay. And now I have to change its IP address to 10.11.10. So this is a normal computer. And I hope everybody knows how to change the IP address of the your computer. If you don't know, I'm going to show you that how you can do it. So you can go here, properties, and I want to change the TCP IPv4 IP address. So I will go here and will configure an IP address as 10.11.10. 10.11.10. Okay, and subnet mask it is going to be 255.255.255.0. So this is simple networking. You might be knowing it. If not, like you should learn it, right? And like in case you are with us, like whenever we have interactive classes, I will explain that what are the networking are there. Or yeah, let me show you. You can also go to my website here and learn these basic things for the networking. These are like free of cost. You do not have to pay anything, right? You can go on the self-learning and cybersecurity and this CCNA. So if you don't know that networking and all, you can watch these videos. These are free, available on the YouTube. So, but listed here. So you can go here and you can watch them. Coming back to our discussion. Okay. So, and the default gateway, I have to configure this 10.1.1.1. Okay. For this computer, the default gateway should be 10.1.1. So this is also a part of basically networking. You should watch networking if you don't understand that why you're configuring the gateway. You can watch those sessions what I just told you. And DNS and all not required as of now because we are going to just ping it. We don't need any internet access. All right. So my computer is fine. I can check an IP address whether it has been changed or not. I can give a command as ipconfig, and you can see that IP address has been configured of my choice 10.1.10. If I ping that server here, right, 172.16.1.10, 172.16.1.10. So you will see that it will give you a request timed out. Everything is like getting a request timed out. So are you sure that it is getting dropped on the firewall or not? Right. So we have to check the firewall logs. So you can go to logs and report section here and click on the option as forward traffic. And all the logs, whatever the traffic is getting allowed or denied, you can see it here. But right now, I don't see any logs here because that we have the default implicit rule, and by default, it does not log any traffic. Okay, so I have to enable this option log IPv4 violation traffic. So right now it's violation and it was not logging it before, right? So I will click OK. And now if I do continuous ping using -t, okay, now I should be able to see the logs that my traffic is getting dropped here. You see, now you see that the source is 10.1.1.10, destination is 172.16.1.10, and the result is deny, right? So basically, whenever I try to ping it from this PC to this server 172.16.1.10, it denied at the firewall, and firewall does not allow the communication. And obviously, that's why we have the firewall. That's a security. Nobody can communicate from here to there or there to here or from anywhere. Like I will not allow you to pass through myself until I specifically allow you, right? So I have to create a rule, I have to create a policy to give you permission that, okay, you can communicate to that server, you can communicate to that PC, you can communicate to the internet. So that's what I'm going to do now. I will create a policy here under the policy and object section. I go to the firewall policy and create a new policy. I will give the name as a, what should I give the name? Let's give a name as a server communication. Okay, because we are trying to ping the communication. What is the incoming interface? Who will initiate the connection, right? So incoming interface, the traffic, if it is started from here, the incoming for the perspective of the FortiGate will be the port 2. Because if I'm sitting here, right, and the FortiGate, I will see that incoming traffic is from the port 2. So I will take incoming as a port 2 and outgoing. Obviously, if you see at the server, that's going to be port 4. I will show you. For outgoing, server is connected on port 4. So outgoing interface is going to be port 4. And source, right? So I have to mention that who all are allowed. So I have to specifically mention that, okay, IP address PC, I'm just giving a name PC 10.1.1.10. Okay. And what it is IP address? So there's two options. Either I can allow complete subnet or I can allow an IP range. So if I want to specifically allow a single IP, I can select an IP range and I can give like this 10.1.1.10 hyphen 10.1.1.10. Okay. So I basically like write it here like a range, but if you see it here, I have the same IP from here to there. It means that logically I'm just giving a permission to only single IP 10.1.1, right? I click OK here. and I will add it here. Drag and drop option is there. I can do it. PC 10.1.10 and destination. I have to mention the server 172.16.1.10. So I will create one more object here, address, and I will mention like server 172.16.1.10. Okay, and here let's allow this time of complete subnet, so it will be like new learning for you, right? So this time, like usually we do it on the PC side, we allow the range, and at the destination side we usually put only single IP, but just for the practice I will just, you know, explain you so that you can understand that how basically we can configure the subnet. So I can give 172.16.1.0 and subnet mask I will give /24. Okay, so this time entire subnet of 1.0 is allowed, and click OK. I can add that here on the destination side. Schedule means that always allowed. Service, and that is specifically port number you want to allow, or you want to allow only ICMP, you want to allow only HTTPS or any other port. So as of now, just for the simplicity, I will allow everything that these two machines can communicate anything from here. Traffic type is accept, so I will allow that communication. Inspection is flow based, that's fine. And NAT I will not enable as of now because NAT is not required. And security events, and I will want to log all the sessions. Okay, enable this policy. So by default it is enabled, so I will click OK, and my new policy will be visible under the firewall policy tab. So you can see that I have created a new policy with the name of the server communication. So you see that it just started pinging because it was a continuous ping, right? So earlier it was timed out and I just clicked it. And after that one, you can see that ping is happening now. I'll stop it here and let's see the logs. That is it hitting my required policy or not? So it is going for the policy violation. That's fine. I will refresh it. Let's do once again. These are actually old logs because if it is an NI policy violation, it cannot ping it, right? So everything is after 7:35. Let's wait for a while. It will be visible soon. Yeah, one more thing. So if you want to see the details of any of the policy, right? So you can select any policy and click on the details here. So if it gives you the more details, that what was the exact time, what is the IP address, country, where basically like the IP address got initiated. So right now we are using the private IP address, so it is saying as a reserved IP. Okay, and what is the destination IP, that shows you port destination and interface, it shows application, it shows a lot of details which are not visible at here, that you can see it here in the detail sections. So that's magic of here. Our now you can see that our next policy is coming and the policy ID is server communication, right? So that's how basically the communication is happening. So now I can also double click on here and it can show you all the details, right? So source IP is like this, 10.1.1.10, and the destination is 172.16.1.10, and the service is ping because we are doing just a ping now. So that was about this and how to create a firewall policy in the FortiGate firewall. So I think I have explained enough, and I'm pretty confident that by doing this, you can also create a configure policy and also able to see the logs on the FortiGate firewall. So it was quite good, but obviously it is not like all in all. There is a lot of things you have to learn in the FortiGate firewalls, right? So it's like how you can create a user in the FortiGate firewall. You have like a lot of networking objects here. You see that a lot of things here. In the policy section also, there are different type of policies for policy and sections available. What are the different security profiles, web filter, video filter, basically like whenever you want to allow any URL to go through application control, what are the app IDs, right? IPS feature, VPN, in fact, IPSec tunnel, site-to-site VPN. There's a lot of things, SSL VPN, user authentication, like basically whenever you are creating a policy based on the user ID, how to integrate the LDAP servers, how to upgrade your firewall, how to take backups, how to create an HA, right? High availability, two firewalls getting synced up, one of firewall goes down, another firewall automatically picks up the traffic to avoid downtime, right? For the troubleshooting, that how you can troubleshoot the traffic using the different features, how to take the packet captures, do the log section, how the packet flow is happening inside the firewall. So there's a lot of things that I have, like some of the things like I have going to cover it in the live sessions here. You can see that a lot of things, a lot of topics I have mentioned it here. So you can enroll for that one. In case you make up your mind, but you still have some questions that how to do it or what I'm going to cover, right? So you can also join the first class free of cost. Okay, so you can enroll for that FortiGate Firewall demo class on this link. So this link I will also give you in the description. So this is registration for the free live class, which is going to be held on the 23rd Feb. Okay, so our timing and all I add it here. It's not there. Okay, so you can enroll. This is a free, and this is basically going to be a demo class at the same time, or you can say the first class what I will be taking live. So if you have any questions or something, you can ask on it. Okay, so I'll stop it here by saying this, and I'm pretty sure that you learned a little bit. Obviously entire cannot be covered in this short session or small time, right? So more learning takes more time, more practice, right? So, all right. So you can reach me here on my contact number here, right? You can reach me on WhatsApp or send me an email ID. These are my websites. You can watch these also. All right. So I'll stop it here, and I'm pretty sure that it helped you to learn that how to configure a FortiGate firewall policy, or basically a FortiGate firewall policy configuration, and it helped you to configure FortiGate firewall step by step. So FortiGate firewall configuration step by step is like, really good thing what I have shown it here. All right, so I'll stop it here. See you in the my live classes in case you're interested. If not, feel free to write in the comments. I will still be able to answer your queries. All right, so I'll stop it here. See you somewhere else. All right, bye bye.